On camera and across the news, Israel's aggressive offensive in Lebanon is front and center, aiming to dismantle Hezbollah's power by any means necessary, be it airstrikes, drones, or ground troops. But beneath the din of battle, a more calculated distraction is at play. As Israeli tanks rumble into southern Lebanon, striking against Hezbollah, an unsettling diversion unfolds, one that could be concealing a much larger agenda. Amidst the cacophony of shelling and explosions in Lebanon, the grim reality in Gaza struggles to capture the world's attention, even as it faces an existential crisis that can no longer be ignored. Speculation is growing that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu may be orchestrating this conflict as a smokescreen for a far more audacious plan: the annexation of Gaza. With Gaza slipping from global consciousness, the spotlight shifts to Lebanon, where Israeli forces push deeper into hostile territory while Hezbollah retaliates fiercely. Yet while Lebanon grabs headlines, Gaza endures a far more devastating siege, silently suffering under relentless Israeli bombardment. Israel has issued new evacuation orders for the northern Gaza Strip, further reducing the size of designated humanitarian zones. The shrinking safe areas are part of what appears to be a strategic effort by Israeli forces, targeting regions where they claim Hamas militants are operating within civilian populations. Al-Mawasi, a small agricultural area along the Mediterranean coast near Egypt, was originally designated as a humanitarian zone in January. This zone was later expanded to include parts of Khan Yunis and Deir al-Balah as Israel launched a ground offensive in Rafah. However, the safe area has been repeatedly reduced in size as military operations have intensified. Today, about 1.8 million people are sheltering in Al-Mawasi, which now spans just 50 square kilometers. Critical infrastructure is lacking, and overcrowding in UN shelters has become a pressing concern. Families without space in shelters are left to seek refuge in tents or makeshift accommodations along beaches and open land. The so-called General's Plan envisions sealing off northern Gaza, potentially trapping civilians without access to food or aid, with those left behind being considered legitimate military targets by Israeli forces. While Netanyahu has not fully committed to this plan, the signs are unmistakable. Aid convoys are blocked, crossings remain sealed, and even as Lebanon ignites, Gaza faces unyielding pressure. Entire neighborhoods lie in ruins, forcing civilians into an impossible dilemma: flee to the overcrowded south or risk death in their homes. Netanyahu has long sought to reshape Gaza's political landscape. This war offers an unprecedented opportunity to neutralize Hamas and potentially split Gaza in two, paving the way for long-term control. The incursion into Lebanon could provide the perfect cover for such a bold move. With global attention diverted, decisions that might otherwise draw condemnation could quietly materialize. Netanyahu has hinted at the need for new governance in Gaza, free from Hamas's influence. Insiders suggest this aligns closely with his broader vision for the territory. To dismantle Hamas, Netanyahu believes it's not enough to defeat its fighters. He must starve their support systems. By cutting off supplies, he aims to compel the population to surrender or flee, leaving annexation on the horizon. Human rights organizations decry this potential strategy, citing international laws against using starvation as a weapon. Yet the siege endures, and Gaza teeters on the brink of disaster. Meanwhile, the international community remains largely silent on Gaza, captivated by the conflict in Lebanon. Could this be Netanyahu's calculated endgame? Some insiders suspect that by annexing parts of Gaza under the pretense of military necessity, he could neutralize a threat while securing his legacy. But the risks are monumental. Any attempt to annex Gaza would spark international outrage and could reignite a broader conflict, challenging Netanyahu's hold on power. In the chaos of war, however, Netanyahu's gamble could yield significant rewards. With Hezbollah threatening from the north and Hamas weakened, this could be his opportunity to redraw Gaza's borders. The critical question looms. Will the world awaken to this unfolding tragedy in time, or will the smokescreen of Lebanon's conflict allow Gaza's annexation to proceed unnoticed and unchallenged?